Our next guest is the founder of the New York Adventure Club and joins us with a look at what they do and some upcoming events. We welcome William Schneider to the show.
All right, thank you for having me.
Welcome to the
Appreciate
show.
it.
All right, so you're more than a tour company.
That's right.
Well, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, we organize unique experiences in and around the city. So think of a social club mixed with an event organizer.
Got it.
We have around 8 events a week. Behind the scenes and special access tours and events. So could be going inside Gilded Age mansions, inside scientific laboratories, but then also pop-up social events. So we've had a pop-up speakeasy in a Gilded Age apartment, or a Play-Doh sculpting night. So really trying to create, when you're thinking about something interesting to do, that you just have one place to go.
How do you come up with these events, and what are they?
Yeah, how I derive them comes from all different sources. It could be literally walking the streets and just finding these interesting people and places.
Pop-ups.
Yeah.
There you go.
But what's really helped is the community in Adventure Club. There's around 7,000 subscribers or members, and they feed me these interesting locations. They might read something online, or even better, if they know someone already, and they can do an introduction. And it's really it's establishing that trust that helps me.
One of your favorite events?
Is I'd say City College of New York. That's coming up this weekend. Behind the scenes.
What's going to happen?
Look at the school. It's a 100-year-old school, or over 100 years old. Has the most grotesques for a college campus. And those figurines on the buildings. But the tour is led by the archivist, and you go through the entire campus, everything from the student tunnels to the rooftops, and really, it's a mix of both that urban exploration and understanding the history and the story behind the campus.
Wow. How did you get into this?
That's a good question.
You want to get involved?
I joke when I moved to New York a little over 5 years ago.
Where'd you come from?
From New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
So not very exotic, but but when I moved here 5 years ago, I fell in the bubble, New York bubble. It's an overwhelming city. It's difficult to meet people, so you tend to stay in your comfort zone. Hang out with the same friends, go to the same places, you go to work, come home, one monotonous cycle.
That's the word all across the country too. When you come to New York, that anti-social and everything.
Absolutely, and especially in a large urban environment, it's very, ironically, it's very easy to stay in that bubble. And for a year, that's the life I lived, and figured New York was just about restaurants, bars, and brunch.
And how did you pop the bubble?
Had a slight early life crisis, I think we all do, and I look back and realized first, I was just a very boring person. I didn't do anything in my spare time. And two, supposedly it's the greatest city in the world. That's what everyone says. But I didn't really know New York, even after living here for a year. So I made a self-pact that every weekend I'd go out, do something, go somewhere, really try to explore the city. I wanted to be an expert in something, but I didn't really know what. But I figured if I just continued to explore the different neighborhoods, different communities, that I'd eventually figure it out. And for a year and a half, that's I was mostly bribing friends to come out. When you ask your friends if they want to go to Flushing, Queens at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, you get some strange looks. So, but I created a Facebook group after that because I was a little frustrated. I said, maybe if I curate a newsletter for them and I showcase interesting events every weekend, that they would come out. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work. And then a couple months later, said, I'll do all the work. I'll organize book a tour once a week. And
so you
do
put a
all the
little
work.
piece out there. What's Corey doing this week?
This week, yeah. Oh, this week.
This week with Corey.
Yeah, well, right now we're doing the behind the scenes of the Players Club as we speak, which is a private club right at Gramercy Park. The City College of New York tour is this weekend. We have an Underground Manhattan tour that looks at the secrets hiding in plain sight. In the subway system, primarily on the IRT line, the older subway stations.
Is that one of the first built, the IRT
line? Spanning from Brooklyn, from this old City Hall station, which isn't actively used anymore, other than the 6 loop. Then it goes to Grand Central.
You equipped everybody with the helmets with the lights on them?
Well, for some tours, the ones that we can go into the system. As you can imagine, there's a lot of security concerns with a lot of the locations that I would love to visit. So you have to circumnavigate the
now, you say
obstacles.
you're more than a tour group. What else do you offer?
Absolutely. I like to think of it as a community. We have happy hours. We have social events around these tours. But in addition to tours, we have just socially focused events. So as the Play-Doh sculpting, the antique printing press workshop, and these are all designed so they actually meet people in your community rather than just go on the event itself.
The printing press workshop. What does that do for people? What do they get out of that?
Yeah, it's that mix of learning the history and the story behind the printing presses themselves and the shop it's in, but then also the interactive
Gutenberg
element.
was the first one to come up with the printing press, the letterpress.
And yeah, this is the
movable
brown
pikers and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see them at work, especially these 19th century equipment. And unfortunately, we don't use it too often, so you have to go to these specialty stores to see it.
I wanted to put one of those in my basement at one time. Get a letterpress. Or
you can still do it.
I'm
sure there's an antique shop out there to help with that need.
I was deeply involved in that at one time. All right, so what makes what you're doing so unique?
Yeah, I think it's about showcasing the interesting people and places in New York. I think most, especially in New York, most tour companies or event companies showcase New York as Disney World, and it's so much more than that. I feel what I'm doing is trying to showcase the people who might be doing something extremely interesting, but they're not really publicizing it. And so my job is to find that person and curate something that people will enjoy.
So a lot of people following you. You use social media a lot.
Social media, Instagram, our newsletter is our largest source. So when I say an Adventure Club member, that's someone who's subscribed to the newsletter. That's someone who's looking for interesting things to do. And most of the people in the group are local. And
what can people do to get involved with what you're doing?
Absolutely.
Find out more.
They can go to the website, nyadventureclub.com. They can absolutely follow us on Instagram, NY Adventure Club, Facebook.
There you go. Corey, give him a big round of applause. We're going to jump on, especially those happy hours. We're
Happy,
jump on some of those.
Definitely. Great to meet you.
Thank you so much, Corey. Corey William Schneider, CEO and founder of New York Adventure Club. Thank you so much for stopping by. And bring some video the next time when you do one of those special tours that you like.
Absolutely. I'll wear the GoPro.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have to take a quick break right here, but coming up next, we'll preview an Earth Day celebration in the Bronx. You don't want to miss it. Stay right here.